What is up, everybody? Welcome into another Sunday edition of More Important Issues. It's a good weekend to be a Vol. It's been a while since Tennessee's won anything
Kings
significant.
of the East, baby.
Kings of the East. I like that. That was a great call. Great tweet. Loved it.
Yeah, I mean that's all you can say. I mean, there's no one can touch us. I mean, how unbearable are we going to be when, hopefully one day football is, up and going. Tony Vitello's been here for like 10, 15 years, and we're just freaking running the show. Rick Barnes has passed it down maybe at that point to Kim English, and we're still rolling. It's going to be great. I'm just ready for the future.
Whoa, are you calling Kim English? Or is Tennessee home, or are you calling him coming home? Is that what I just heard?
Yeah, I mean, there you go. Spreading rumors, spread it like wildfire.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, it's that one was kind of nerve-wracking too. Overall, Tennessee did what they had to do. And then you kind of had to wait for the pieces to fall in place. And of course you did get that on Saturday night, Saturday afternoon. So that obviously is it's big for Tennessee baseball to be where they're at and so fast, and can't wait to talk about that. And the SEC tournament that is happening this week, Vols are in a good spot. We're also talking, we do have some Vol football, obviously talking some baseball. I do have some Vol football news with, we actually had someone on Sunday night ask, I think we got asked twice and I missed it both times. I'll try to follow along on the chat tonight too. I'll do my best work. But Tennessee did get a football commit, so we'll talk about that. Hey, I got to be in Neyland for the first time since 2018 today. So
yeah, how was that?
Pretty good day. It was cool. I have some, hey, we're always trying to get better. All right. We don't ever settle. All right. So I've got some, right, yeah. I hope this isn't the last time they do it, because it was a fun experience. It was cool, and I hope they continue to do it, but there's definitely some things I think that can make the overall experience better. And we'll talk about that on the show though. I don't want to keep you guys too long in the intro. We want to get into the meat. Warm-ups are just warm-ups. So let's get into the meat of it.
Meat, baby.
Exactly. Drop those questions in the chat. Tell us where you're listening from. And like I said, I'll try to do a better job today of following along in the chat.
Let's do it. So also go check out our sponsors, Tennessee Tap House, Hound Dogs, and Blue Water Climate Control. Also our network, Volunteer Roadshow. Go check them out. Got a lot of great shows for you on there. Here's a quick word from our good friends at Blue Water Climate Control.
People always ask, where did we get the name Blue Water Climate Control? When a Navy ship casts off lines, exits the harbor, and loses sight of land, that's blue water sailing. It takes a team of people to do that. Tireless work, focus, and attention to detail. So much of starting a business is just like that. After it's done, you get filled with deep satisfaction for accomplishing something, and it's quickly followed by, now the real work begins. We're Blue Water Climate Control.
Balls are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! Got it by Tennessee to one Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now.
I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
Reddit to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Sunday, May 23rd. It has been another fantastic weekend of sports. If you weren't doing anything this afternoon, or maybe even made plans this afternoon to watch the finish at Kiowa, and Phil Mickelson at the age of 50 getting his first major win in 8 years, I believe. Probably should have fact-checked that before we got started. But it was just an incredible – also, I think for a lot of people, it's going to be that sports are back moment, because have you seen the pictures or videos of it yet?
No, I haven't.
So the crowds, getting on top of
Actually,
Phil
I
Mickelson and Brooks
just
Koepka.
scrolled on Twitter and saw a big, just massive crowd of people.
Yeah, and I mean, to the point, like it was almost like they probably should have done better crowd control because it did prevent Brooks Koepka for a minute from getting up onto the green. But like I think that's going to be like I think everyone's gonna be like, yeah, we're back, like we're back to normal. This is it. Because like I know there's been plenty of places that have had 100% capacity already at this point. I think is Nashville or the Predators at 100% capacity because it certainly looked like it this weekend.
I'm not sure on that. I don't know.
Okay.
If you're a Predators fan, let us know because I'd love to know.
Drop it in there. I mean, I assume you saw that video of Taylor Wan yugging.
Yeah, again.
It certainly did not look like social distancing going on. But yeah, I think that today, I mean, everyone was like, tune in. It had, the reminiscent of Tigers win at the Tour Championship, I believe in 2018 at East Lake, where the crowds again were following and on top. But we've been waiting. Tennessee fans, just got to 100% capacity at the baseball stadium last weekend. All these places are starting to pop up 100% capacity. Like everything's starting to get back to normal. You have this awesome icon of the game of golf win at a big challenging course in a major, and the crowd is going bananas. The crowd's on top. Like this to me is like, all right, we are back. We're good. Like, let's do it.
Yeah. I thought it'd be really cool if Tennessee could have clinched that at home.
Yeah.
They didn't even really get to clinch it yesterday. They had to wait and, see if Vanderbilt lost that game. Thank you for Kentucky. I'm not a Vol cat. You aren't either. But yesterday we felt ourselves, on the verge of being one.
No, I won't attribute it. That was hard to kind of root for Kentucky, but I was just rooting for Vanderbilt. Or against Vanderbilt. That's all. Right.
Yeah. You're rooting for the loss there for Vanderbilt, a program that's been on the top of college baseball for a long time now. So yeah, that was huge. You mentioned shirts. I bought my shirt today.
I need to go in and buy it. I do. Vol Shop hadn't responded to me though. I'm needing the smoky golf hat dropped. I haven't been able to find it. I know they were on sale at one point. The golf team obviously wears them. That's the hat I need, so they need to respond. So so I can purchase both at one time. See,
I saw somebody wearing one yesterday.
Yeah, they had sold them at one point. And you mentioned too how it would have been awesome if Tennessee had clinched at home with that 100%, first time 100% capacity crowd. Yeah, that would have been freaking sweet, of course. But the good news is, talking about Tennessee taking care of business on the road at South Carolina. Obviously, you always want the more wins, the merrier. You want the sweep, but you did win the series. You will get the first round bye. You also clinched, according to Jordan Rogers. Is it not Jordan Rogers?
Kendall Rogers.
Kendall Rogers. According to Kendall Rogers, you clinched, and I think I agree with him. You clinched a spot to host a super regional this weekend.
Yeah. Again, just got to take care of business. I thought it was just a great thing to see, like this whole rebuild kind of not reach its peak because you still have more to go, but like you've seen results. Like there's something in the record books that said Tennessee is a champion of something. So seeing that is really cool to see because like
that doesn't exist. There's no such thing as the Eastern Division champion. That's not real.
I'm holding on to it. I don't have a lot to hold on to at this point, so I'm taking that and running with it.
Did you not see like Vanderbilt fans saying that on Twitter?
Did they?
Yeah, and they had a tweet from 2015 that said you're 2015 East Division champions.
Yeah, Vanderbilt, you're lucky that Tennessee has been terrible at baseball for so long. That's why you've been so good. So there you go.
There's other things that help them, but yeah, Tennessee being bad has definitely assisted the way. Yeah, no, you talking about peak, like, so this is, and yes, I think that you're right about, you can like, there's something on paper that you can say they won this. So that obviously is a momentous, is that the right word? I don't know. It's a great
milestone.
Mark. Yeah. Milestone. It's a great mark to have. For me, the kind of, the like, all right, we've arrived moment. And we talked about this with Kiv, and I think it's when the nation started really taking notice. LSU was the precursor for that. I think the sweep of LSU, everyone was like, oh, like we know LSU's down, but like that's to sweep them and then with a walk-off, rain delay, like that's big time. Look at Tennessee. And then Vanderbilt series. You go in there and you give Vanderbilt everything you've got. And in a year that Vanderbilt's, has the two best pitchers in the nation, that you saw on back-to-back nights. For me, that was like, that's it. And I know that kind of sucks because it's like, you didn't really win. I mean, you did get a game, but you didn't win. So, yeah, that was like, for me, that was like, he's done it. Like, Tony V's here, baby. And
yeah,
I don't know.
Kind of for me, like you mentioned with the Vanderbilt, like you saw that, but then in the back of my mind, I was like, we kind of always play Vanderbilt tough. It's just,
right.
Been that series that, they usually come out on top, especially recently, but it's always been a hard fought series. So was it just us playing, our best baseball? And not the thing that I didn't think this team was good. I thought they were good. But that Arkansas series, I mean, it really clicked to me when you gave them everything they wanted for 27 innings that, hey, Tennessee could win a national championship. Like, that's not out of the realm of possibility at all.
Well, it's funny you said that, did Tennessee play their best baseball? I don't think they did against Vanderbilt. I think there were a lot more mistakes. I think Arkansas was a much better presentation of their best baseball than Vanderbilt. And I mean, series played out very similar. But I thought Tennessee played its, much closer to its best baseball against Arkansas than it did Vanderbilt. Not that I think, because I think if Tennessee plays a perfect game, Vanderbilt's still good enough to win.
Right.
Like that's the way it is. And I think vice versa. Vanderbilt played a perfect game, but if Tennessee's playing great that day, they could certainly win. Mm-hmm. I think Vanderbilt you had a lot more mistakes in that series, and Vanderbilt capitalized on those mistakes. And that's really what I think led to Tennessee losing that series. But I thought you played really good baseball, just probably not your best baseball that weekend. And I think, too, there was some stuff on that Saturday night game, which was freaking rowdy and awesome. Was that when Tony Vitello got ejected? Yeah. Right?
Against Vanderbilt?
Was it Saturday night or Friday night? I thought it was Saturday night, but I could be misremembering. But anyways, I think there was, everything that kind of led up to that moment, it was tough for Tennessee to respond from that. Like that's something that you've got to eventually, if you're going to play in the big games, if you're going to make the big plays, you've got to find ways to respond from it. But that's tough. And overall, this weekend too, I thought Friday, because they played Thursday, Friday, Saturday this weekend. Mm-hmm. Thursday just felt like you had it was like Kivett talked about when we were like, what takes this team to the next level? It felt like the moments were there and no one could take advantage of it. And now, is that South Carolina just playing good baseball too? Did they benefit from good pitching that night? Yeah, absolutely. But Tennessee definitely had chances and just couldn't find a way to open the door back up for themselves. And yeah, they're going to need that. But also you won the series. It's a nitpicking thing for sure. But just talking, that's one thing that we talked with Kiv about just a few weeks ago, that you really you did see that Friday.
Yeah. And like at one point, what makes Tennessee so good, before I really get into South Carolina, is like, yeah, you have Liam Spence and Max Ferguson up at the top, who are kind of different from everybody else. They're your base hitters. They can steal some bases. But 3 through 9 is like, you can interchange any of those guys. And maybe 1 through 9, but realistically, 3 through 9, there's not a huge difference in any one of those guys. So opposing pitchers or opposing staffs probably hate that, because how do you game plan for a balanced team like Tennessee is? Because you're like, oh, you can throw them away. Well, we can play small ball. We can hit behind runners. We can hit and runs, double steals, sack bunts, bunt for hits, steal bases and stuff like that. But we can also hit bombs.
Yeah, there's plenty of guys on that. And it's weird. You haven't really had a consistent, like you mentioned in that 3 to 9, you had not had a consistent guy that's just, other than, Evan Russell playing out of his mind those couple of weeks that he did. You haven't really had a consistent guy that's just stepped up and been the guy that's going to knock the ball out of the park. Now, there's been plenty of guys in that 3 to 9 that have done it. You've had someone consistently doing it in that slot, but it's not always been the same person.
Mm-hmm. And that was kind of the difference this week, is Tennessee just had more hitters than South Carolina. South Carolina had 3 who carried them: Allen, I think Eister is how you say it, and then Wes Clark. After those three batters, there's a huge drop off, and Tennessee just doesn't have that. They might not have the pitching, that like a team like Arkansas and Vanderbilt has, but man, they have the hitters. And then Pavoloni coming back and being healthy, that's been huge for them. He had a huge weekend. Luke Lipsius was another guy who had a couple home runs and a huge weekend. That bottom of the lineup, those last four batters, I think at one point they had 17 of Tennessee's 32 hits in the series. So, they just had a phenomenal weekend. And that's why I think this team is so special, because you can interchange so many guys in that lineup. Whereas South Carolina, I just don't think they have that luxury. And that was a team that's playing really good baseball. Brady Allen gave Tennessee fits all weekend long. Those first two games, Thursday and Friday, 25 of their 27 innings, they had only scored off home runs. So until that last inning, or that eighth inning, for them, where they scored 3 runs on Saturday, that was the only time that they scored against Tennessee when it wasn't a home run. So Tennessee just had a couple pitching mistakes, and it turned into some runs for them. But Tennessee kind of beat this South Carolina team. They jumped on them every single day. I think South Carolina scored first yesterday, but in the top of the second, we were able to tie it up 1-1. So just a great weekend of baseball. You come out, South Carolina makes it interesting. It's not a Tennessee sporting event unless it's interesting, making your blood pressure go up, sweating a little bit. But,
and you mentioned it. You even got a little extra of that Tennessee feeling in the Vanderbilt Kentucky game, who I think Kentucky was trailing in the 7th inning, and then obviously they go up heading into the 9th, and I mean Vanderbilt's Vanderbilt. There's not a secure lead against them, so you had some extra blood pressure battles there.
Yeah, and what was crazy, going off a little bit about this Kentucky Vanderbilt game, but Vanderbilt was one strike away. It was like a 1-2 count, and they thought they had the strike 3, and they didn't call it. They called it a ball. And then 2 outs, no runners on. The next 5 batters get a hit, and 2 of those went for home runs, and they take a 7-4 lead, and Vanderbilt's able to get a run back in the bottom of the 9th, but it was over.
Right.
So just a crazy game. I even tweeted, and I'll take full credit for that win, because I tweeted, I was like,
full credit. I like that. Yeah. How humble of you.
Yeah. Like Kentucky or Tennessee didn't get any help from Kentucky. This is when they're down to their final out, and then that happens. Like, what are the odds? I mean,
right.
I know we're betting guys now, but I can't imagine what those odds would have been to pick Kentucky to win that baseball game at that point.
Yeah, no, it had to be pretty. You probably would have won some good money if you had taken them.
Right. I
love that you took the I'm going to be negative and hope everything comes out on top route. I don't know if you planned that or if you legit thought it was over. I'm not sure which route. Because like today, coming down the stretch, not that I wanted Phil to lose, but I have money on Brooks. I was like, he was down. I think he was back 2 with 2 holes remaining, and it was me and Brody talking about it because we both had money on Brooks, and I was like, it's over. And he's like, are you trying to be negative? And I was like, a little bit. I don't think it's necessarily over, but it's over. Yeah. I'm hoping this one comes back to bite me. But yeah, I think I gave Landon a hard time about that. But I think most ball fans agreed with you that this one was that was over. Tennessee wasn't going to win the East. What it is.
You can never count on a team to help us out any. So that was
not Kentucky, especially.
Right. I mean, that was super rare. It'll never happen again. So, count your blessings. And another reason for that is, that cancellation against Alabama for the rain really helped that out. Also, Evan Russell getting a hold of Jack Leiter for 2 home runs and then hitting not a game winning, but go-ahead grand slam late in that game to get a win. And if that stuff doesn't happen, Tennessee doesn't win the East. But you need a little bit of luck on your hands, and hopefully we're able to get some more of that good juju as we head into postseason play.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to have some luck to win championships. Championships are not all about skill. Definitely got to have some help along the way from other teams, from the baseball gods, whatever it may be. You definitely need some help. You actually really both. You need a little bit of both sometimes. Looking at this South Carolina series too. You mentioned this when you were kind of talking about what Tennessee does really well. South Carolina is playing good baseball, and not that they didn't all season, but definitely towards the back half of the season, they were able to kind of find a groove. So like, looking at this, you were like, if you're talking about which I mean, I know there's really no easy series in the SEC. It's actually, when I was looking at who Tennessee will have to face in the tournament, I was like, oh man, those two teams gave Tennessee trouble. And I was like, I mean, every team gave Tennessee trouble. It's the SEC. It's nothing's easy.
Right.
So you obviously, not that South Carolina, you wouldn't expect it to be easy. There's not any easy teams. But you're like, man, this is a bad time to face South Carolina. First off, everyone's got Tennessee's number right now. They're at the top. Why would you not have that one circled on your schedule? And then also, you've got a team that's just kind of found the groove. You mentioned Wes Clark he was in a slump and finally gets a home run the 2 days before the series.
Yeah. And, that first, I guess our Wednesday show, I was like, keep him in the ballpark. That game, he goes yard. I mean, like, it's just like it's tough. And Kiv said it best. This is a grown man's league. And, Wes Clark is one of those guys. If you make a mistake, he's going to make you pay. And just like Luke Lipsius, Max Ferguson, some of those get Connor Pavoloni. You make a mistake, they're going to make you pay. And that's why pitchers have to be so dominant in this league to really be good. And, I don't know what the SEC selections or the all SEC selections are going to be, but if Chad Dallas is not on a list, I'm going to lose my mind.
I mean, I texted you on Friday or Thursday. Because he was especially nasty on Thursday night. I mean, he had guys looking like he had guys swinging at balls in the dirt. I mean, he was throwing some filthy stuff.
Yeah. And he's just he's a dog.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, and 9-1, he had 8 strikeouts against South Carolina, 7-2 innings pitched. I mean, there's no way, you can put Jack Leiter and Kamar Rocker and Kevin Kopps up there. Yeah, sure. But Chad Dallas should be 4th on that list.
Yeah, 100%. And that is the issue with the SEC. You not only have a ton of good players, you have a ton of good pitching. I mean, easily two of the best in the league, or two of the best that'll be coming out of the league in the nation. And then you obviously have Kopps too. There's some nasty guys, but Chad Dallas definitely. And it's funny, every game now I'm watching the pitchers to watch their body language and their mentality and their facial expressions. So I'm like, I want to know who the psychopaths are. I want to know. And Chad Dallas I think he's got in that eye, it's in his eyes. He looks a little like he's got some psychopath.
Yeah. With a name like Cheese, you got to be kind of a psychopath. Right?
I think Blade Tidwell has the upper hand as far as psychopaths go, from what I can tell.
I think Sean Hunley does too. He's got that,
He's a different animal though. He's a reliever. It's not the same.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, coming in talking about him a little bit, and Blade pitched phenomenal, and he's he's really coming to his own. These past couple of series, and I think that's going to be huge for Tennessee in this postseason. Where I was kind of talking to Eric Kane a little bit, and he kind of asked me who would Tennessee's next pitchers be. I'm like, that's a good question, because in midweek games you haven't really seen it. They pitched basically 9 guys in that midweek game.
Right.
So it's been a number of guys. Maybe Mark McLaughlin gets that look, but having Blade Tidwell pitching the way that he is, you're not going to have to use a ton of relievers for any of these guys. They're going to give you a chance in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th inning to get the job done. So, they've done phenomenal. Will Heflin, another phenomenal outing from him. Blade, Chad Dallas, just a great weekend of pitching from Tennessee. And, they drop a game, weren't able to get some timely hits, and gave up a huge 3-run home run that, ended up being the ball game. But, Sean Hunley coming in the position that he did yesterday to minimize the damage and get out of that inning. And then the next inning, give up a leadoff double, no outs, 3 straight strikeouts. I mean, I think Tony Vitello said, I don't know if he could say that, but he was like, big stones.
Yeah, no, I definitely. I mean, to go out there and after the double, he threw. No, that wasn't that inning. was about to say, didn't he? I mean, it was pretty much all strikes, wasn't it? In that
Yeah,
strikeout.
I mean,
he wasn't throwing around guys.
Yeah, I mean, he was going after him. He was challenging them for sure. And he wasn't going to give those guys, Brady Allen, Wes Clark, Eister, I don't know how you say it. Sorry.
You got it.
Yeah, he's something like that. He's their 2-hole hitter, but he wasn't giving them anything to hit. He was like, I'm paying the outside corner. You're gonna have to go oppo taco to take it out of here because I'm not letting you pull the ball out of here. And that's kind of been Tennessee all year long. They don't have Blade Tidwell's got the 97 mile an hour fastball, but he hasn't really commanded it as good as you'd like to see with a guy with 97 mile an hour stuff. But he's, like I said, he's really coming on these past couple weekends.
Yeah, and I'll say that has he done it consistently all season? You could certainly argue not. But Arkansas last Sunday, he was going with some velocity at him for. I think he pitched 7 innings that day, and he was taking it to him for 7 innings with that 97 mile per hour fastball.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, hopefully you get more of that in postseason.
Yeah, I mean, you'd like to see that. And, going back to the pitchers, I don't know who's, next, Mark McLaughlin, Jason Rackers, some of those guys. But, man, it's what you have starting pitching. Hopefully you don't really have to get there very often.
Right.
And if you do, I think you have the lineup where, hopefully that team is in that same position where you have a lineup that you can just tee off on somebody's number 4.
Yeah. So do you have who's your idea? Because I think that I've had that question asked. I've asked that question. Who is Tennessee's next pitcher right now? Because there's obviously, like you said, you don't want to get that far, but the fact is in postseason, you're probably going to end up at least one game where you got to find an extra guy in that bullpen that can come out and give you an inning or two.
Yeah. I think it would probably be Mark McLaughlin for me. Just because we've probably seen him, start the midweek games pretty consistently. But Jason Racker's another good guy. Elijah Pleasance. I don't really know at this point because you really haven't played around with. I know that Carey, I think, for South Carolina, came out of the bullpen and started the game for them the other day. And, Tennessee really hasn't done that to this point this season. It's kind of been, Will Heflin, Blade Tidwell, and Chad Dallas. Would love to have Jackson Leith. I think that would be huge. But you don't have that. So you got to make the best of it. And Tennessee seems to have a plan in place I think they got enough arms. It's just, you're going to have to score runs behind some of those guys.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, you do have to figure out how to say, and I think too, wouldn't you say, so yeah, I believe you mentioned this back on that 3-run homer. Wouldn't you say, and I'm not trying to say just like Tennessee's pitching isn't great or anything like that, but I mean, a lot of these games have been lost on a pitch. You're not making a ton of mistakes, defensively. You're not putting yourself in terrible situations with runners on. You've got, I mean, obviously some of the 3-run homer, you do have guys in scoring position there. And I think A&M, was a game similar to that with just 1 or 2 pitches that made that game an uphill battle for you and then eventually ended it for you. So I think, if you can try to eliminate, obviously those mistakes are going to happen and you've got to find ways to respond from them. But if you can find ways to limit those, and I think if you look at the season as a whole, they have. There's not a ton of them. But
Right.
Those 1 to 2 pitches that guys are able to take advantage of and score with.
Yeah, I mean it's going to happen in this league. I mean, these are major league players soon to be. So I mean, it's going to happen. I think the only way to minimize that is, and Tennessee's done a good job of this, is not put guys make guys earn it. And they haven't put a lot of guys on. They don't walk a lot of guys.
Yeah, that's a great point.
I think that's been huge to kind of minimize those home runs. But yeah, like a 3-run home run, that's tough to come back from.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it with Saturday. Pavloni hits a 3-run home run. It's hard for South Carolina to dig out of that hole. yeah, they're able to get 3 runs in that 8th inning, but it was the deciding factor in that game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, yeah, the mistakes are going to happen, especially in this league, and guys are going to take advantage of them. So I think every time we sit here and say what Tennessee got to be better at, I always feel like we're being super nitpicky, and which is good. That means you've got a good baseball team. I'd love to be that way with football. I feel like we are that way with basketball quite a bit. But that's just the way it goes when you have a good team. Also, I'm glad I didn't forget this. What the F with that review on Friday? Is that Saturday? That was Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah. I mean, like,
what the crap?
It was unreal. It was unreal. And, I'm not one to like say, you lost because officiating and stuff like that. But man, like Tennessee didn't get any help from reviews. And then South Carolina made some plays that, major league players don't make. I mean, their third baseman made that play that diving into the stands.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's on Derek Jeter's like #1 play of all time.
Also, yes, at the play we're talking about, that play by South Carolina's first baseman was incredible.
Yeah.
To number 1, just catch that and not be an error.
Yeah,
number
the first
2,
baseman did one too. Yeah, it was the same thing.
To keep your foot in a position where you can get back on the bag that quick. Phenomenal play. But I don't know if he was 100% safe. But you could not. You had nothing to overturn that. Nothing.
No. I mean, I don't know. They replayed it over and over and over again, and still, there wasn't one thing I was like, yeah, that's clear cut, or
right.
Yeah, he might have been on the bag. Like, I was just like, yeah, you can't tell. It's got to be safe because there's no way to overturn that.
Right.
And that's what the announcers thought too.
Yeah, and Pete, and then the Pete Durkee, he was out. There's no doubt in my mind. That one was out. But it just pisses me off that they can go to the monitor that quick. And I don't know. First off, the camera angles we saw of that play, I don't know how you could have. I mean, did you walk in and they're like, yeah, we can barely see it. It's in the corner of a screen. All right, well, in that case, we can't overturn it. Because that's the only reason you should have walked away from that quick.
Yeah.
Because it was close.
Yeah, it got zero help from reviews, going all in South Carolina's favor. And, props to Tennessee for not letting that bother them. I mean, again, they have played players up and down this lineup that has freaking ice in their veins. Sean Hunley, it was Max Ferguson last weekend against Arkansas. It's been Evan Russell. It's Jordan Beck, Drew Gilbert against LSU. Just a ton of guys and a ton of huge moments this season have really come up huge. And, I think this is a program where it seems like everybody in the program, from, support staff to training staff to players to coaches, everybody seems to be on the same wavelength. Mm-hmm. And if they're not, they're doing a great job of hiding it, because that's what it absolutely looks like from, just getting to sit down with, Kiv, and, we sat down with former players, Zerker, who's director of baseball operations. It just seems like everybody's knows the goal. Everybody knows, yeah, we welcome personality. We bat flips, walk-offs, stolen bases, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But, and I think Kiv said it best. He's like, hard work is mandatory.
Yeah.
And it just seems like everybody's bought into this program. And I hope that other teams around that university really catch on to that and see it and be like, okay, this is what we need to implement. This is what we need to do. Everybody needs to be bought in, because it's like an assembly line. Like, if one person's not bought in, it throws everything off.
Mm-hmm. The culture at Tennessee baseball looks every bit of a championship team. So it's good to see that they're getting rewarded for that. With their, I mean, and it's not just in terms of how they act. It's also how they play. But the culture looks like championship team. And so to see them get, it's not the one you necessarily want. Now that you assume you're going to get into the one you want, but hopefully you see more championships from it.
Yeah, just got to keep on grinding. Hopefully you're able to get those facilities where you're able to compete with, these SEC teams off the field as well as on. But I mean, props to this program and this coaching staff just recruiting the right guys, number one, and then selling this is how we're going to play. This is how we're going to do things, and we're going to win baseball games. Yeah, we don't have the incredible indoor facility, but we got passionate fans who are going to take a hold of you guys and love on you, and show you all kinds of support.
Right.
And you just got to buy in. Like, the rest is going to come. Just
Hopefully.
props to them for, hopefully. But, props for them to selling that, because that's a tough thing to do without those, huge facilities. I know the Tennessee football program, and that's easy for them to sell. Like, hey, we have this, and this. Yeah, we're not winning games yet, but we have all this.
And I think, too, it's going to, I hope there's a big financial commitment to Tennessee here in the next Tennessee baseball here in the next few months, hopefully.
Now?
Because, hopefully it's already done, actually. But I think it's going to make it, I hope, an even better overall product because the wins came before the facility. Like, I hope Tony Vitello should have his hand in it. He's the guy. Make him the guy. Give him the money. And I was telling someone, I was like, I honestly don't. I think if Tony Vitello, if it was like, obviously this is an NCAA rule, but if they were like, give me my third assistant and I'll be here for a while, I feel like that would be a thing he would do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I feel like the money, like he doesn't have a wife.
I don't know him.
Kids.
I don't know him personally.
We don't know him personally, but like it just seems like he's more interested in his program than
anything else.
Financial gain.
And I think, you want the money. Everybody wants the money. If you and you see your guy that you're, first off, the guys that you're kicking their ass every weekend making more money than you, of course you're going to want it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the money, if you want to keep him around, you've got to pay him. I'm not saying no, take the shortcut and don't pay him, but I think the first thing you need to do, because he's also one of the first guys to take the, I guess pay cut. I don't know if that's the right word, pay cut during the pandemic. Like, he was one of the first guys to do it. Yep. So I think if you want him to be committed, beyond just this season or the next couple seasons, you need to show commitment to the program with facility upgrades and, support in recruiting, support in admission, like whatever you need to support him in because I think if you just walked in and offered him a raise and that was it, I think he would laugh in your face.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because he's about getting the guys in there, and you don't get the guys in there by paying the coach $1 million.
Right.
Like that, they don't give a shit about that.
Right. Yeah. He's more interested in the facility upgrades than his own personal paycheck. He gets paid a lot of money. I mean, he probably doesn't make as much as Tim Corbin and other guys like that in the SEC. But he wants the facilities. He wants to be able to recruit and be like, hey, we have this same as Florida.
Yeah.
But you also get to play with this great coaching staff. I mean, it would be an easy sell to come play for Tennessee if they had those facilities, and then the raises are coming.
Yeah, and I think too. I think that's the biggest thing. Is like, if you want to win consistently, so it's like everyone. So this is what my point. Everyone says the first thing Danny White should be doing is working on Tony Vitello's contract. No, that's not the first thing you should be doing. The first thing you should be doing is you should already have the contractor in place to upgrade the stadium. Like, that should already be done. Upgrade the facilities.
The first thing you should do and be like, hey, Tony, what can I do to help you? What do you need?
Yeah, but I just think, like you. So let's say this. This is why I say.
But he's probably going to go upgrades. Like, that's.
But yeah. Not that I don't believe in what Tony Vitello is doing or is going to do. But he's, like you mentioned, if you want to recruit consistently, you've got to have the other things to play with the SEC programs. Yeah. So if Danny White's first order of business is paying Tony Vitello $1 million and you don't focus on anything else, is Tony Vitello going to be able to win games in 5 years?
Yeah.
Because and not that he's going to have some good seasons, or he would. But if you can't recruit consistently, you're also going to have some seasons where you're not great.
Yeah, I mean, if you're like, hey, this is just the start, just winning the East, you don't want this to be your peak.
Right.
You want to keep building on this and win more championships, win the whole damn SEC, win the SEC tournament, Win a regional, super regional, make it to College World Series, be in the championship series. If win it. I mean, like there's a bunch more that you can build on with this program. This shouldn't be the peak. So yeah, please make your commitment.
Make a commitment. Baseball. I think just make the commitment to Tennessee baseball and do what needs to be done. Write the check. Sorry, don't write the check. Leave it blank.
Didn't they get
you need to put
like lump sum of money back from the SEC or something?
Yeah,
like that?
And I'm kind of curious because there wasn't. So the SEC essentially gave every team an advance on the next couple of years or maybe next year's, what you get from the conference. So, and I'm not sure like what that is, if there's something that's specifically supposed to be allocated to, if you get to use it. So here's my best guess is obviously with this year, you didn't make the same amount of money that you would normally make in a year. Neither did the SEC. So that lump sum was probably less. So they went ahead and did an advance for next year. So I would imagine a lot of that's probably going to go into your normal operating expenses.
It sounds like a big down payment to me is what it seems like.
I mean, I think Danny White should have, the only person he should be calling right now, the only people are people that can give money to the baseball program. And I'm not talking about the fans that you're going, you better invest, which again, Danny White made. Yeah, sure. Did I take his, I read the whole article, so I didn't take them out of context. Let me say that. Obviously, maybe not everything you say can be quite put onto paper. So I didn't have a problem with what he said on Swain Event. He said pretty much what I was like, that's how you should view it. But you should definitely be on the phone with the people who can write big checks to make that commitment to baseball. That's who you should be calling. That's who you should be asking to be fully in. Sell full in to them.
Yeah. And to kind of go like.
Well, let me say this too. The fans that like the ones that can't write the big check, like all they can do is buy tickets or buy the shirts. They bought the shirts and they were in Lindsey Nelson a week ago. Like they made their full commitment.
Yeah. And that's probably like what you're going to get. If you want more of that, you need to put more freaking seats in that stadium.
Yeah. 100%.
Put more seats in it. But yeah, but Vitello has kind of hinted at like him and Danny White have been in talks. Mm-hmm. So I mean, we're not just saying like Danny White needs to do this. I think they are on their way, but like I want to see it. I need to see it.
What do you think those renderings were? Do you think this is? I mean, we know facility upgrades have kind of been on the, especially since you saw the field upgrade. Facility upgrades have been in the talks for a while. Like this isn't brand new. This isn't only being talked about because Tennessee's doing well this year.
It's been a long overdue renovation to the stadium.
Yeah, and Philip Fulmer started to make that commitment to baseball. Mm-hmm. Like it was happening. It was in the process. And so the renderings, you saw the leaked renderings. Were those real? Were those is that what they're going to be? What do you think?
Well, so I actually got to talk to Ross Kivett as soon as Danny White got hired, and he was like, he knew the Kansas State AD, so he liked him, and I got to do some research on Danny White, and he had a big hand. Like he knows how to build a SEC program at Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. He knows what that's like, but he had a big hand in kind of revamping UCF's baseball program and making it something where it's not just a laughable stadium on campus. He had a big hand in, raising a lot of money, building a indoor facility and stuff like that. So he's done it to where like he knows what an SEC program needs. And he's done it at his previous stop where he's raised money for a baseball program. Right. And now you have guys that you have guys in the MLB, you have, donors that donate just tons of money to the, not just the baseball program, but the athletic program at Tennessee. So you have a lot bigger pockets in Knoxville than you do in Orlando. So, I expect Danny White hasn't steered us wrong yet, right? I mean, so far, so good. So, I mean, he opened up to 100%. So wherever we're throwing at Danny White, he seems so far he's hitting it pretty good.
There you go. I like that. Yeah. We'll stay on the train for as long as we.
He hasn't knocked it out of the park yet, but he's getting some good contact.
Yeah, I'll say with the renderings might knock which I don't know how much of it, because like I said, this has been going on for a while. The renderings, they look good. I didn't get my berm, but maybe one day. You have to build the hill. That makes it difficult. I understand that, but build the hill.
We can get some dirt.
Build the exact. There's dirt. There's dirt all over that campus. You can figure it out.
I know a guy that can mow that thing for you if you need it mowed. We know some landscapers. Hey, we can be a part of this. I mean, if you want, I can't, give a crap ton of money, but hey, I can get you some connections where you can get some good deals on some stuff.
Absolutely. And I'm an idea guy. I'm an idea guy. So I don't have the money or the effort to make it put it into place like you would need to do, but I will give you the idea. Yeah. Like I've got some ideas.
I can't give you a lot of money, but I can make you a lot of money.
There you go. I like that. That's a good selling point. When we get into Top Golf, I got some great ideas for hopefully the next time Top Golf comes to Neyland. Yeah. Because it was cool, but like we said, we can always get better. So let's talk. I know we stuck on Tennessee baseball for a while, and we could keep going, but I do want to talk about the SEC tournament, which is starting on. Tennessee won't play on it until Wednesday, but it starts on Tuesday. Yeah. Yep. And so I do want to talk about postseason. Tennessee obviously gets that 2 seed. They have the first round bye. Again, there's no easy games, but you're off of Arkansas's side. Maybe see them hopefully in the championship if they get there. Obviously, their focus is on regional already. I'm sure the games that win or go home at that point, or the series at least. Looking at Tennessee's landscape, first off, I like that. I think with this team, you can't convince me they don't want to win every single game, even if it's not a do or die type game. So I think Tennessee, maybe if they don't bring their all, with their best, I think whoever's on the field is going to be really going after it.
Yeah, some teams want to win the whole thing. Like a team like Auburn, they're not going to be in a regional.
Yeah, some teams, like if they want a chance, they got to go win a game or two in Hoover.
Right, like Auburn's not going to be a regional unless they win the whole thing, which I don't think is possible. But hey, you want to play spoiler? This is the time to shine. And when guys like at Arkansas or Vanderbilt, I don't know what their coaches' philosophy are on the SEC tournament. I know some coaches don't like it, and they're not going to pitch their best guys a ton. But I think Tennessee wants to win. I don't know if they're going to.
I think Arkansas and Mississippi State do too. It's just every room. The guys in the locker room, we know what the SEC tournament means. We know the regional is where your focus is. The guys in the locker room know that too.
Yeah, and you don't know what Vitello's philosophy is. He might go out there and pitch Chad Dallas a complete game and be like, let's go win them.
Yeah, we're going to play.
I don't think that'll be the case. He'll probably be on a pitch count of some sort and be ready for a regional play that weekend. But, I think Tennessee's going to at least pitch their guys. I don't think they're going to give Chad Dallas a weekend or a week off.
Right. Here's my hopes, though. Like you said, Chad Dallas will come out early. Sean Hundley may not finish the game out. Like these guys are going to be, you mentioned on pitch counts. Maybe you find that next guy this week. Get him into, you mentioned how, when they play those weekday games, they're not getting a ton of pitches in. They're not getting, so maybe this week, you find that next guy because you're pulling your guys a little bit earlier. So maybe you get a new dog.
Yeah, I think you get them some work a little bit.
I think that's my hope. I
don't think Tennessee has enough starting pitchers that we've seen up to this point that you can just go out there and not pitch a Blake Tidwell, Will Heflin, Chad Dallas in any game.
Right.
Now if they do, tune into the SEC network because there's going to be a lot of runs scored.
Yeah.
In this week, I think it gets started on 10:30 Eastern time. You get to see Kentucky and Florida, and if teams aren't going to pitch their best pitchers, there's going to be a lot of runs scored. So tune in, and hopefully, this boosts the ratings up a little bit, and you're able to get a lot of Tennessee baseball on national television come next season.
Absolutely,
and all SEC baseball, not just Tennessee, but
right.
That's
and
all
I think
care about.
But I think my hope is that Tennessee does find that next guy in this. Obviously, win games. I understand the outlook of the SEC tournament, but you want the name champion, you want that,
right? Yeah, if you find yourself in the SEC championship game, you got to go balls to the wall. And not that
Yeah.
I think this team will take a day off, but Kiv mentioned like those midweek games, they've dropped a couple because this schedule and this SEC gauntlet is such a grind that it's it takes a lot out of you. So
Yep.
coming back and starting that grind all over again on you get done on Saturday, you're starting again. Tennessee is on Wednesday. That's a short turnaround to get up for more SEC baseball.
Absolutely. Okay, so then looking at this, and I think this is almost more fun than like to predict like the SEC basketball winner, because that's a little bit different. Much different sport, just much different outlook. Even so, but my question is, who's your winner? Who's going to be the champion next Sunday in Hoover?
Oh man, I think Arkansas is the best team in the country.
Right.
So I'll probably go with them.
But I mean, even knowing what you know with that's why I think it's an interesting question, because Arkansas is maybe not going to bring their best, like their team collective best.
Right.
So I mean, I guess this is my question: is Arkansas? You assume teams like that, the guys that play are going to bring their best. So is Arkansas's next group, is their best better than LSU and Georgia and Vanderbilt? Because that's why I think it's an interesting question.
Yeah, I think another team to really watch out for, and it's a team that's got a really good lineup, and that's Florida.
Mm-hmm.
They have a ton of good hitters. So, yeah, maybe that next – I don't know what their pitching looks like after their starters, but, I know they got a really good lineup, and if they're playing those guys, they got a good chance to win any game they're in. And same with Arkansas. They got a ton of, really good hitters. Vanderbilt has a ton of really good hitters, great lineup. So probably those three, but I think Tennessee has that lineup too, where I mentioned probably 3 to 9 are very interchangeable. They're a team like, we might not have our stud and Chad Dallas, but we got a lineup. If you're not pitching your stud either, it's game on, and
right.
We can score a ton of runs in any game.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why I thought the question though. I wanted to see. I don't disagree with Arkansas or anything. It's just they're going to need their best from a lot of people. So Florida, I do like that for one reason specifically, because you talk about what you need. Florida is trying to host a super regional right now. They're not a top 8 team,
right?
If you go win the SEC championship, you're more than likely a top 8 team at that point.
Yeah, you're definitely in the conversation, because some of those teams, like I know this is more for regional play, but some of those teams like didn't even bid on like a host side. So if you didn't even bid on it, like you're not, even if you were supposed to be a top 16 seed, you're probably going to be a 2 seed because you didn't place your bid.
I guess did Florida bid?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm not. I don't know who. I know the 20 teams that they did it down to. Was Gainesville in that? I think it was.
I don't remember. I'd have to look,
because they're going to be a regional host.
Okay.
But as far as super regional, they have a chance to.
But you got to go win some games in Hoover. You got to go win some games. So yeah, I think that's a very interesting pick. Probably one of the, I would say probably the best team of like the next tier of teams in the SEC. Like, are they number 1 in the SEC? No, they're behind. They're behind Arkansas and Vanderbilt. Probably behind Tennessee. Behind Mississippi State. But I would say they're probably the best of the second tier.
Oh yeah, like if they went and if they beat Kentucky and then go beat Mississippi State,
maybe third tier,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Right.
I mean, that's how good this conference is.
Absolutely.
Kentucky, South Carolina swept Kentucky, but Kentucky was able to get a game on Tennessee and Vanderbilt, so they're not they have one of the best hitters in the conference, and TJ Collette, and Colton Kessler hit that bomb to put them up against Vanderbilt in the 9th of that game. I keep wanting to say it's on Sunday, but it was on Saturday. So I mean, all these teams could potentially win. You just don't know how the coaches are going to play it, because who's going to pitch their studs, who's not, who's going to be in the lineup, who's not. It's just a weird kind of tournament thrown in, like it's just like, hey, do this real quick, and then like we're gonna get to something like, not to say the SEC tournament doesn't count, but it doesn't hold a bone to.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't count. Like if we, obviously, I think the best way to say it doesn't count is it can put some teams into the region, into an NCAA regional, but I don't think it would play any teams out. And I'm not talking about teams on the cusp, but if they drop another game, they're looking at not making a regional. I'm talking about like teams that you look at it and you're like, they're definitely in. Like it wouldn't take any teams out. Like you can't get eliminated in the SEC tournament. Is my point.
Right, and we're looking yesterday or Saturday, going into Saturday, like Tennessee didn't know if they were going to be a top 4 seed in the SEC tournament, so they weren't going to get that extra day off, which is I think huge for teams. When you're talking about, going all weekend playing SEC baseball and then, picking it up 3 days later, Tennessee's able to get another day of rest. And, that's why that game was huge on Sunday, not just because, you want to win that series. You want to go 6-0 and SEC road series on the season. You want to have a chance to put yourself in front of that, the East. But it was a big game to just get another day of rest.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So just another grind, and I think Vitello mentioned it after the series. It was just like we're ready to get this thing going, and this having games like 5-4 games where you're in tough situations. It sets you up for that postseason play. That's where you're not having to play an SEC team in the regionals. Yeah, you're probably going to have to beat some, maybe in a super or definitely in the College World Series. You're going to have to knock some of those teams off, but it's, I don't want to say it's a cakewalk, but it's definitely not as tough as a SEC team.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, make sure that starts again Tuesday. It is 10:30. That is the first game, Florida and Kentucky. So you'll find out if Landon can get hot early in that game, in the SEC tournament with predictions. And then Tennessee will play their first game Wednesday at 2 p.m. against the winner of Alabama and South Carolina. You can watch that game on Tuesday at 2 p.m. All in Hoover. All in Hoover.
Yeah, like I said,
did Hoover get to 100%?
Yes, Hoover is at 100%.
That should be a –
and so is Omaha. I don't know if we've mentioned that before, but
we did mention the NCAA opening it up. I don't know if we mentioned Omaha specifically being 100%. But, I think going to be a great atmosphere in Hoover. A lot of fans wanting to go to just games in general. So I think it could be a really, really good atmosphere. It usually is anyways. And I think this year could just add to that. So definitely –
yeah, that's definitely on a bucket list of mine, is to make it to Hoover. Definitely Omaha would be better than Hoover, but I
think a full week, and obviously you can never guarantee Tennessee's going to be there a full week, but a full week of Tennessee being in Hoover would be a full week regardless is fun. Full week where you're going to a Tennessee game each day would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
George, Florida fan, been in here talking. I'm sorry guys, I'm not on chat. He mentioned where do we start with? I missed a lot. I'm going to learn the chat one day.
There's some chat.
Some talk about the Florida. We were talking about what Florida's got after their starters. Addison said the bullpen's a little overrated. I don't know. Like I haven't really heard a lot about Florida's bullpen. Can they be overrated if there's not much talk?
Wait, what? What did you say? Sorry.
There's not been much talk about Florida's bullpen. So can they be overrated if there's not much conversation?
I mean, they're not as good as Arkansas's. I'll say
no. But there's not. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about Florida's bullpen like that. Like no one's been like, oh, they're up there with Vanderbilt and Arkansas.
And they might be. They probably. Really,
I'm just saying,
they probably should.
Can you be overrated though? I haven't heard much of that.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say that.
George also asked if you had to pick two teams, who do you think it's going to be in the finals? And he said for the national championship.
I was actually hoping Florida would help us out in winning the whole SEC.
Yeah,
but
you were hoping, weren't you?
Didn't get any help from them this weekend.
They weren't going to help. They were never going to help.
No.
Yeah, Arkansas got that sweep this weekend against Florida. So two national championship teams. Do you have two that you're willing to throw out there?
I mean, if you had to tell me right now, it's definitely going to be two SEC teams.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. I mean, I know Texas and Texas Tech both have had really good seasons. I don't know where they really rank up there though. Again,
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see when they finally take on like a SEC team in a series to see how that plays out.
Right.
But yeah, they're definitely up there. I think if safe, I think Arkansas.
Yeah,
and
if you're gonna go safe.
And as far as another team, I mean, Vanderbilt has a ton of hitters, and they have a starting pitching, but I just don't like. Some of their RBI guys just don't wow me. Like their RBI, like statistically, they don't wow me.
Right.
Like CJ Rodriguez, who I think is one of the best catchers in the SEC, he had 21 RBIs on the season. I'm like, that's weird for like a 5-hole hitter. So I don't, I think Arkansas is better than Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and we can at least say we're right because the standings prove that for us right now. So we at least get that win. But I would certainly agree that Arkansas is the better of those two teams. And I think right now too, if I'm looking at it from a non-biased point, obviously I'm a Tennessee fan, and I think Tennessee can play with anybody because that's what my orange tells me. But I don't think Tennessee's quite to the level. And I don't know exactly what's missing, and I don't know if I could even put it into words. The thoughts I have what's missing. I don't think I could put it I don't think I could explain it well. But I just think they're just right below Arkansas and Vanderbilt, and it's not I don't think. Is it talent? I don't think that's the right way to frame it. Because I think I think Tennessee's got just as many dudes on their team as Arkansas does.
Or is it national media that just continues to put those two ahead like that? That's I mean, both of those teams beat Tennessee in a series.
Yeah, but I think part of it's just winning too. Not just this year and winning the series, but Arkansas and Vanderbilt have been doing it for so much longer right now, than Tennessee has. So it's just there's something that I don't know what it is. I mean, it's what really separates Alabama and Ohio State besides championships? Why are they not on the same tier?
Yeah, I mean,
year in and year out, they have the same 5 stars probably. I mean, obviously Urban Meyer's gone now, but I mean they've had the great coach, probably have another great coach right now, and Ryan Day. But it's just what's truly, because you wouldn't put Ohio State and Alabama in the same tier, right?
No, absolutely not.
But
I mean, Alabama's a tier of its own.
That's fair. Okay, I mean, okay. What about Clemson and Ohio State?
I mean, yeah, I mean, Clemson is just one more, I guess, meaningful. I don't know if that is the best word.
Yeah, it's just there's something that separates for me in my eyes that tier.
Yeah, and maybe it is just consistently being in the postseason, consistently winning in the postseason. Maybe it is that. And that's not a knock on this staff or this program. It just Tennessee hasn't been up to this point in such a long period of time. I mean, winning the East for the first time since 1997. Right. That's insane.
And I guess for me, when I'm I can't put it into words, I guess what it is, it's you're winning. Yeah, but you haven't knocked off the 2 guys that you got to knock off to win it all.
Yeah.
You haven't knocked. So when you knock them off, I'll put you on that tier.
Yeah.
Kind of Ohio State. Ohio State's won the Big Ten plenty. They've gone to the college football playoff plenty. But I'm not going to put you on that same tier until you knock one of them off.
Yeah, I mean they had their chances,
right.
And they didn't. I mean, they were in a rubber match with both of those games. Yep. They were up,
which again Arkansas. Is plenty to say about that.
Right, and it's Tennessee shouldn't be up to this point in this in the Vitello's 4th year. They just shouldn't. They shouldn't have built what they've built with the facilities. With what was there when they inherited it, Tennessee just didn't have a winning culture, and they've built that, and they've done a lot more with a lot less,
right?
Than an Arkansas Vanderbilt. So yeah, that's that's what makes this team so fun to watch. Is like the way that they win. Like it's gritty. It's like it's old school mixed with a little bit of new school. Yeah, they have the bat flips, but they, like I mentioned earlier, they have the bunts. They hit and run stuff like that. They play that small ball, but yeah, they can go yard too. I mean, they got some freak athletes like a Jordan Beck who can hit it probably farther than just about anybody in the country when he gets a hold of one.
Right.
They have Max Ferguson, who's just a freak athlete. Liam Spence, I mean, he's just had a phenomenal year. That on base streak came to an end in that Thursday night game, but like he's been consistent all year. I mean, they're just a lot of fun to watch. And like it makes you want to buy into it. Like everybody seems like they're bought in. It's like, I got to buy in too.
Gritty. That's why this team's fun to watch. Gritty.
Yeah.
Like that word you used earlier. That's why, again, hard to put into words, like why this team's so much fun to watch, but gritty. Like I think that's the best way to say.
Yeah. And the goal from here on out, it's like, yeah, let's win all these games. Hey, let's keep playing. Like, I mean, that should be let's just keep playing. Let's keep doing it. It's going to be some home games from, as soon as you hit regional play, super regionals.
Yeah, shoot, you really might as well win them when you're playing in front of your home fans.
Yeah, it's going to be 100% capacity. Get to feed off that energy. Yeah,
the games are going to be there no matter what. You might as well be a part of them.
It's a lot easier to win, when you're used to, you don't have to travel or something like that. It's a lot easier on you. So let's keep playing. That's all I'm saying. Keep playing.
100%. Let's talk some Vol football. We talked about Josh Heupel not being able to, it's been tough that just the transfer portal has not worked in Tennessee's favor. Maybe we spoke too soon. They've benefited from the transfer portal in the last 3 weeks or so. I would say just about as good as you can. I don't think Tennessee's going to end up on the right side of the transfer portal, like when it's all said and done, like when but it's going to be hard to with what left Tennessee and the circumstances surrounding the roster at Tennessee this offseason. So I think you've done really good up to this point to use the transfer portal to your advantage as much as you could.
Yeah, I think so too. You got some guys that are familiar. We're going to talk about William Mohan, who transferred from Michigan. Familiar with Brian Jean Mary, who was there last year with him. From Brooklyn, New York, 6'1", 205, outside linebacker. And, I think this is a good get because, like, the edge rushing position is that's a need for Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee has some bodies there, but, like, you don't have anybody that's been a consistent contributor at that position or had a ton of production. So I think adding bodies is one thing, but I think to say, like, yeah, we did good in the portal, like you need to get some production, some starters out of these transfers. We don't need a Keller Chris. No offense to the guy, but like that doesn't do anything for you. Madre London doesn't do anything for you.
Well, Keller Chris might have done more if you
gave him a chance.
Yeah, if you gave him a chance, which I thought I thought Garantano was better, but going back, I'm like, dude, whatever got Jeremy Pruitt to play him so much, I don't never understand. But yeah, I think just like you said, bodies, but getting guys that looking at the position, I think obviously, Tennessee, I think needs more help at inside linebacker. But you're not, it's kind of in a situation, it's like beggars can't be choosers. They found a guy that wanted to play here and it happened to be a position and playmaker of need. So I think you did, like I said, about as good as you could. Unfortunately, you're not in a position to really go out and pick and choose the bodies you get. Mm-hmm. You do kind of. So again, I think you added a guy that's didn't play. I know he didn't play a lot this year. He's a freshman. But getting a guy that has some of that experience, that's been through. You're not going out and getting a high school guy that maybe decided late he didn't want to play where he committed to or something, or something to do that the school rescinded his scholarship, whether it be like grades or something. You're not going out and getting some of those guys. You're getting a guy that's at least been through the process at this level.
Yeah, and he's got 3 years of eligibility, so it's a guy that's going to be in your program for a little bit, which I think that's huge when you're getting transfers. Yeah, you like those one and done guys. Like it's fine, I guess, for that season. But like, is it really helping your program out bringing a guy in for one season? Not, I mean, unless he's just like a Eric Gilbert or just a guy who's going to be, like a postseason trophy winner of some sort. Is it really helping your program? And the answer is, like, if he's in the portal, he's probably not. So I just think they need to get some production out of these transfers to really have me like, okay, we did pretty well in the portal, and I think they have up to this point. But for me to really be like, yeah, the portal worked out well for Tennessee this season, I think you need to get some serviceable production out of those guys. And Tennessee in the past hasn't really got a lot of. And I know the transfer portal is different, but the transfers in the past just haven't been great. In any sport.
Part of that, part
basketball,
of that too,
football,
any. No, basketball benefited from it a little bit, but yeah, it's not been great. Basketball, that's a weird one. Because I was about to say football. Well, you haven't been winning a lot lately, and yes, a lot of those guys are looking to go to better situations, but sometimes they're also looking to go to places that they can win. They've been in a place that they've been the at least somewhat of a playmaker and star. They just want to win at this point. Some of them. But yeah, basketball is a great point. That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. Don't know why. But ask something about football. I lost my train of thought.
I do like how you're getting guys from Power 5 schools. I think that's something to.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, you're not getting a guy from. I don't want to use Austin P who didn't play. I mean, like, you're not getting anybody like that.
Which you wouldn't get those if you're getting. But I still think getting a guy from Power 5 is probably better than like you mentioned, a grad transfer senior that from Austin P that was a decent linebacker with good special teams player, like something like that. Like you're not getting. And I think Austin P is still probably a stretch, but even MTSU, somebody in the FBS, like that something like that. But yeah, I think you've just done about as good as you can. Is it a super flashy get? It's not. But it is a guy I like. If you're gonna, transfer is so different.
You're adding more guys on defense.
Hey, yes, you're addressing the needs as best you can. But I think too, you're not just getting this guy's also, he's got a relationship with, you mentioned with Brian G. Mary, the linebackers coach now at Tennessee. So it's like, you don't like guys transferring in and out. Like I know, I'm sure this sounds old school. I'm all about going for the better opportunity and whatnot. But I think there is also and I think it should be the same with coaches. Like some people are like, well, coaches can go. And I'm like, I think coaches should be obligated to stay in some, I don't know how you make that. I guess no one's technically obligated to stay, but it's like, I think there is something to being committed and going and giving yourself the opportunity to be successful there more than just a year or more than just 2 years. Like really giving yourself time to get, calibrated to your environment. And, you've got relationships with your teammates and your coaches and your family's got those relationships. But I think if you are getting a transfer from a guy that maybe did just part of it, he wanted to play for Brian G. Mary. And so he's going to try and do that. And now he is. So maybe there is a little something to that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Brian Jean Mary, if I remember correctly, he didn't really recruit him because he was only at Michigan for that 1 year. Is that right? I don't know if that's 100% sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he did just spend the one season with him. So the fact that you're able to get a guy who played under him only for one season and was willing to leave that school, and it's not like he's close to home. From Brooklyn, New York, and come to Tennessee. I think that's a good sign to me. I think it maybe I didn't think Brian G. Mary was a bad hire, but it kind of helps you out a little bit. Hey, this kid wanted to come play for me or just after just one season with me. So and the fact that you're willing to take him, I think that's big. I mean, a guy like Jay Hardy. We didn't, we took some defensive linemen. We didn't take Jay Hardy after he got in the transfer portal. I don't know if he was that interested in Tennessee either, but the fact that your position coach is here and it didn't happen, that kind of says what it says.
Yeah. Says what it says for sure. The golly, I keep forgetting it was about football too. You addressed the need. That's it for this one. That's all I'll say. You addressed the need, and I think you're up on the transfer portal. So I'm happy. No complaints from me.
You want to pick a quarterback who we're starting? Because
I'll do that gladly. I have
Jim Bob Cooter.
Dude, I was actually thinking Jim Bob Cooter, but I was trying to maybe think of someone newer.
All name team.
Yeah, I was trying to think of someone maybe from like 2014.
Okay.
Early
Bird.
See, I was gonna even go a little bit farther down the roster than that. I was trying to think of some guys that were in that
Patrick
maybe.
Ashford.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm trying to dig up a name like that. Like even Nathan Peterman's too big time for me. I want someone else.
All I know is Patrick Ashford threw a hell of a ball to I think Alex Ellis on the fake field goal. Is that right?
I believe that's correct. Was that Ashford that did that? I think it was. Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay.
There was another guy there though.
Man, that's big time.
At the time. Yeah, no, that was a big time play. Hometown kid. I guess you call it hometown.
Something like that.
Morristown. It's close enough to Knoxville, right?
Vic Wharton hitting the whip. That was a whip. We're getting so old, man. Hitting the nene in the end zone. Do you remember that in the bowl game?
I don't remember doing that
in the bowl game. I thought it might have been in Neyland.
My favorite call of all time was Pig Howard because my brother's best friend, good friend of mine, Alex Nipper, he always yells pig, like pig, like always does that. And he'll always say that'll do pig, stuff like that. And I think it was Tom Hart. Does that sound right? Did he call SEC games? Does he call SEC games?
Maybe.
That
sounds like an announcer name.
Pig scored at South Carolina. And he was like his call was that'll do, pig. And I was like, that's freaking awesome. So
that'll do.
That's definitely my favorite one regarding. Oh, speaking of bad reviews, how the hell do you overturn? And I know that's probably coming from like a fan. How do you overturn the touchdown at Georgia? And I'm calling it a touchdown. The touchdown at Georgia. How do you overturn it?
Oh, the Pig Howard one?
Yeah. I even said at the time, like, I think that's a fumble. Like, I think by rule, whether you think the rule's dumb or not, where it changes possession, I think by rule that's probably a fumble. I don't know if he broke the plane. But I'm also saying, I don't know, because how do you tell when someone lost possession or lost control of the ball, other than when the ball fell out and the ball was still touching his hand? So how can you say he lost control? I don't know. Makes me so mad.
Yeah.
But
I mean, like it was that play with Jordan. I think it was Jordan Beck and that first baseman. I was like, yeah, he's safe. Like there was literally no doubt. And then he said he not only did they called him safe. That was like
that's it. I don't think you can overturn it.
Yeah. And then they overturned it and called him out.
Yeah. I don't think you can do that.
Sus. I'm not saying there was home cooking, but I'm saying there's home cooking.
I love that they use the announcers like Tennessee or South Carolina's local announcers because those guys,
they're terrible.
They were annoying, but were they not just like they embodied what like high school hometown announcers are? I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, and like they didn't. It felt like to me they didn't really know like the team.
I didn't think they did terrible. They were radio guys, like clearly radio guys.
Right.
But I thought it was incredibly annoying.
Oh yeah, like when Jake Rucker struck out, they were like, "Whoa!" Yeah. I was like, "What is that noise? Is that the calling of the pigs? Is that what it sounds like?"
But if that's
Tennessee Hogs or whatever it is,
if right. But if that's Tennessee guys, that's what I'm saying. Like it was annoying, but I'm like, that's also fun for South Carolina fans.
Yeah. This is a calling of the cocks, I guess, is what that was.
Oh, God, don't make that noise. You don't want to see it'll show up.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Do you have anything else for football? Dude, like a lot of people are saying Harrison Bailey. And, what I've seen.
Oh, we're still actually talking about quarterbacks? Okay. Yeah.
Kinda. I think we can. Let's talk about it next show. I think we're kind of getting close to time. So yeah, let's get into our segments.
Hey, don't put a timer. Don't put a timer on us. This is our show. We can do whatever we want.
We'll get to our segments. We'll put it.
We're prepping for that's fine. We're prepping for the 24-hour show. We're going as long as we can.
That's right. Yeah.
24-hour show.
We gotta save it. Gotta save it.
That's when we'll do it. Before Tennessee plays for the national championship in Omaha.
Dude, I'm thinking like hour 2 or hour, like, I guess we could probably talk for 3 hours. But after that, like, what do we just play rock, paper, scissors? Like,
I think we talk nonsense for 24 hours. I mean, like we do now, like just nonsense for 20, like anything. That's the thing. In a 24-hour show, it can't be all sports.
Right.
Talk about anything. I mean, we can talk about how, did St. Louis not just score? I thought St. Louis that would be terrible to watch someone watch MLB baseball for any amount of time. But I thought St. Louis just scored a run in the bottom of the 7th. I guess not. But, yeah, we'll do it before the national championship game. That's how we'll prep for the national championship game.
Let's do it.
Perfect. All right, I got you locked in on that. Do we have any questions? I don't think we have any more in the chat. Our man George, he said a little bit. But I don't know if you had any questions during it.
Yeah, if you got them, drop them in. We will get to those as we do our segments. I don't have any.
You don't have any questions?
I do have segments. I don't have any questions. Sorry.
Okay, no, you're good.
That was confusing.
I was like, I was confused, but I also thought I understood what you were saying. I'm glad I clarified. All right. Well, most important of the week. What do you got for most important?
Most important of the week. What about Tim Tebow back?
That's your most important? Oh, his handshake. I mean, like the handshake was pretty fucking awesome.
It's news.
Yeah, it is. I think it's a weird situation. I don't think he'll work. I don't think he'll even be on the 53-man roster.
Oh, no.
But I'm also like...
Or will he because it's Urban Meyer?
That's certainly possible. I mean, that's the only reason he's even
he's
on the roster.
53. Like he's going to write a book how he was the number 53.
Yeah.
53rd guy like on this roster.
I bet there's something in the New Testament with the number 53.
Oh, 100%. 100%. But yeah, yes. Like I saw a tweet and like he shook a player's hand.
Dude, that was awesome. I felt like I was back in church. They were like, turn around and welcome your neighbor today, and it was just the most Southern Baptist deacon.
He said already changing the culture. I'm like, from a handshake?
Did somebody say that seriously, or were they?
Yeah, somebody said that like dead serious.
They weren't being facetious. They had to be.
I don't think so.
Dude, the whole thing, there are some people that are like, yeah, he's going to be great for the culture in the locker room. And there's a lot of like guys that have been in NFL locker rooms or been around NFL locker rooms that are like, those guys are going to hate him.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much a celebrity, which makes it like
probably makes it a little bit worse.
Yeah, like people aren't going to like him for that.
I think a lot of people like him. The people that know him like him, because there obviously are people that know him that like him, like a lot of them. Right. I have to assume. And he's not had any like big scandal like a lot of these guys who live similar lives to him do. I think he's genuine. As much as I hate him and as much as the corny, it's like J.J. Watt. Like how corny J.J. Watt is, but like that's just who J.J. Watt is.
Just corny dude.
But he's not faking it, and that's why people like him. I think it's the same with Tim Tebow. Like, is he super corny and super annoying? Yeah, but I also think that's just him. And
yeah,
he's being nice. Like that's just who he is.
He's a genuine person.
Right.
Like, yeah, you're not going to – yeah, he's going to be a great locker room guy because, yeah, you don't have to worry about him, killing people. I mean, or shooting up something or getting in a bar fight or –
except all that happened at Florida when he was there, so.
Correct. But he
was the ringleader. See, that's a turn of events I've been waiting for since, all that come out with that Florida team is like, you're going to find out that
it was
Tim Tebow's the made man. He's running the show.
Well, yeah, I feel like he's already past the point where like, yeah, let's try to find something on this dude. And he's just like squeaky clean, and it's just like you can't find anything. He's just a good dude.
I think that's the thing. I think he's just a good dude. I'm not saying the locker room's going to love him because it's still, whether he's real or not, like you mentioned, the celebrity stuff is still a thing. Like it still can be annoying. I think though, wouldn't you have quit baseball earlier if like you got in the locker room and everyone hated you? Because he played for the Mets organization the whole time.
I mean, my thing is like, yeah, he went and played baseball. Maybe that was a dream of his. You know, I'm sure he's talked about it. I don't know. But why didn't he just like continue his football career? I just don't understand that whole baseball thing.
It's dumb.
Just like the Michael Jordan thing. Like, I just don't get it.
Well, Michael Jordan did it for several reasons, I think. But I think Tim Tebow did it because he he refused to play another position other than quarterback when he was last in the NFL. Because if he had done this when he was in the NFL originally, I would say he has a legitimate shot at.
Yeah, he had a way better shot of playing a tight end or a fullback than he did playing Major League Baseball.
Right. And so I would have felt differently about what like this now. I'm like, I just think there's no way he's young enough to still do it. There's no way, because he's learning. Like, this is going to be a process. It's not like, oh, he just decides to play the position and he's there. It's going to be a process. But I think it's just like, yeah, I think he was very stubborn. He's like, you know what? I've always wanted to try professional baseball. I'm obviously in the best shape of my life, and I'm going to go give it a go. And I'm just assuming all this because it seems like the dude's genuine. It does.
Right.
So that's why I'm assuming that stuff. I have no idea. I mean,
I don't think he's going to be very good. I'll say that.
I would be shocked if he's on the roster. I'll be shocked.
Yeah. Does he score a touchdown?
I hope so. I kind of want to put a bet on that future.
Is he huge, like a preseason guy? Like, you see him in the preseason?
How amazing would that be if he's like so good in the preseason that even fans are like, how do you not sign him at this point?
Right, yeah. I mean, that's kind of like when Josh Dobbs was with the Jags, you're like, oh yeah, he's got to make the roster because like he was dominant.
Right.
I guess dominant is the right word. But yeah, he was good.
He played good. Like, he played good enough on the field for you in the preseason that you would be dumb to leave him behind.
Right.
Like that kind of thing. For sure.
Any more most important?
Yes, I had Phil Mickelson win the PGA. That I mentioned at the beginning of the show. Phil Mickelson though won the PGA Tour, PGA Championship at Kiowa, and then I've got. Oh, I have one more. Where'd she go? Maybe I don't. False alarm.
I have one more, and it's no context. I don't know how it happened or what.
I love this.
Happened.
We need a segment, no context, where we just read.
Context. So the Mets acquired veteran outfielder Cameron Maybin from the Cubs for $1.
I did see that.
I don't know why it happened. I don't know how it happened.
I kind of don't want to know how it happened. Like,
just
I kind of just want to think that's.
I mean, is that kind of? Is he like, dude, just trade me for something? I don't care. And they're like, all right, $1 it is.
He got traded for the wash machine.
There you go. I mean, dude, a wash machine's more than $1.
That's I don't know about the one in the Flint Tropics locker room though. I don't know if that one is more.
Probably doesn't work.
Yeah, probably not.
Put more money into it than it's worth.
Exactly. But hey, if you get traded for it, do it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the Cubs look like as far as like standings wise, but I know like Mets have a good team, so maybe that's part of it.
I don't know. So the Cubs are in second place in the division, but they're 3 games back to St. Louis.
Gotcha.
3 games, 3.5 games back. Yeah. The Cubs are in second because everyone else also sucks.
Yeah. So it's not like going to the Pirates to the Mets. It's
the Pirates are.
They're terrible.
I mean, that was
there's a fail of the week for you.
That's a great fail. What was it? 20? Was that the final score? 20-1?
Yeah, something like that.
To the Braves on Saturday night. God. Oh, also, so the Mets are in the lead in their division, but why have they not played? They just had bad weather or something. They played like 2 or 3 games less than everybody.
I don't know.
And I also find it weird that they can lead their division this year because isn't baseball playing like – well, I guess it depends on how their division's spread out. But isn't baseball playing like a lot of like local games, like so travel is not as heavy?
I don't think so.
Okay. So I knew hockey did something like that. I didn't know if baseball was doing something too.
I know. I do know the Blue Jays were in Dunedin for a while.
They're playing. Are they still playing in?
I don't think so. I think they're in New York. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, they're in New York now.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Fellow week.
Fellow league, Tony La Russa. Oh.
Yes, that's a good one. My most important, and I'm going to go off on a tangent, so you do yours first. My most important was Topgolf. Go ahead.
Okay. Tony La Russa said he was upset that Yerman Mercedes hit a home run on a 3-0 count. I don't know what the score was. But it was so bad that they pitched a position player to pitch. 3-0 count. Like if you pitch a guy, like if you pitch that guy, Tony La Russa is the manager for the White Sox.
Right.
Mercedes is one of the best players for the White Sox. But if you pitch a position player, like you gave up, like you lost, like it's over.
Yeah,
if you give up, like you throw me a cheese ball, I'm going to hit it. Like I get paid to hit bombs. I get paid to play baseball. I'm playing baseball.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, and again, they didn't pitch out to him. Like, if you're going to throw at me, I'm playing baseball. That's why I think the unwritten rules in baseball are the dumbest unwritten rules, like in any sport, because like they can actively take away from your
accomplishment,
like you playing good baseball, like the unspoken rules in other sports. Like, I'm trying to think of like a good example in like hockey or golf, like sports that have a lot of unwritten rules, but it's like they're all done to like keep people from being dicks, essentially. Whereas baseball's like, no, you can't, you shouldn't score a run here. What just happened?
God, I did not see the comment directly below this, but it is hilarious.
What is it?
So I'll give this guy credit. Warren Dawes said, wouldn't be the first time Tony screwed up handling a Mercedes. Oh, he committed murder. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like this is the comment that Tony La Russa said. He made a mistake. There will be a consequence he has to endure here within our family. I'm like, dude, you're a freaking walking DUI. Like, why the hell are you mad over this?
Again,
he made a mistake. That's not a mistake.
It's not a mistake. You play baseball. You played baseball.
You get paid to do it.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
It was incredible.
Do you have any more fails?
I will say this. If you're going to swing at a 3-0 pitch, you better hit it out. You better get on base. If you get out, then you look like a moron. So it better work out. It's like, I think Vitello was talking like, yeah, when you do a hit and run, like if it works, you look like a genius. If it doesn't, you look like a moron. That's kind of how that works. Like if you hit 3-0, like, hey, I hit a home run. I mean, you shouldn't have thrown it in here to me. I hit a home run. But if you pop out to the second baseman, you're going to be like, what a doofus.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
That's when you made a mistake.
Right. That that's again, and like La Russa's an idiot. That's the bottom line. He's an idiot.
Yeah, he is.
All right, fail? Any more?
That's all I got.
Okay, this isn't a fail. This is just my tangent. I've been meaning to go on. Topgolf in Neyland. Okay. And I do want to say it was really, really cool. I want to do it again, but I also want it to be better the next time I do it.
Mm-hmm.
It was expensive, but like that's just a cool idea. Like getting to go into Neyland and like do something that's like unique that you're not going to do in Neyland often. Like that's it's Neyland Stadium, but it's almost like Topgolf got the venue. Emily said it best because Emily was like, "How was it?" And I was like, "It was awesome. Like, had a great time, much more fun than I thought it was going to be." And I told her like the tangent I'm about to go on, and she worded it great. She was like, it sounds like they just kind of got the venue and we're done with it. Like that, like that's it. Like it was just like, oh, here's a cool venue. There you go. But like, why do we go to Neyland? Like, what's the reason we go to Neyland?
The game,
like football.
Right.
Like that, and like it's a cool stadium because of football. Like it is very unique in that, like, and I think this can be said for any stadium, honestly. Like if it's baseball, NFL football, like you go there for football. You go there for the Tennessee Volunteers. You go there like for that. That's why I want to play Topgolf in it. I mean, yes, would I go play Topgolf in, a random field if you set it up? Sure. But I'm also not going to pay $80. I paid $80 because I went to Neyland Stadium to do it.
Right.
So make it a Neyland Stadium experience. Like, it was, again, very, very cool. I went in there. and they did have the concessions open, but it's like, also I paid $80. Can we have some better food here? Especially if I'm going to be paying concession prices. Like,
open up concession prices.
It was regular concession prices. It's like, make it nicer meals, or open the Calhouns, or because they have that little Calhouns area. Like, make it a better overall experience. Because I paid $5 for a Coke. It's like, I don't want to do that just because I'm in Neyland Stadium. Make it Neyland. So like, paint my first one. So you go in there, and like they had a bunch of stuff like cornhole set up, and like a golf type cornhole game, and big Jenga, and they had a simulator in there while you waited, and like tables to kind of hang around while you waited. So very, very cool experience. Like right when you walk in the door and you wait for your bay to open up. And you're down there with everybody too. So you're interacting with people. So again, they did a good job of that. Then you go in the stadium, and they paint the field. I feel like that's an easy one. Paint the field.
Like it wasn't painted the field?
No, it's just grass, green with targets out there. Paint the field. That would be awesome. I think that for me, and I'm sure you feel the same.
It adds to the experience.
If I walk into Neyland, if I go in on a weekday and the field's already painted or it's left over from that game, first off, when it's freshly painted, whew, gorgeous. But when you walk in there and the field's painted, you're like, oh, hell yeah, I'm in Neyland Stadium. Just grass. You don't have that same feeling. So yeah, they'd add to the experience. Do it. Next, paint the field. I think that's the most important one. I think that's the easiest one to do. Paint the field. That should be the standard at every stadium.
Yeah.
Like the grass should be cut how it would be.
Is this like a thing they're doing to like a bunch of stadiums? Yeah,
they're doing some tour, and I can look up like where all they're going. But they've also done it like the first place I started seeing it being done is like MLB stadiums, like bigger, nicer stadiums like that. But yeah, this is the thing they're doing. So I think this should be the minimum. Whether it's a baseball stadium or soccer, football stadium, whatever it is, I think the field needs to be prepared like it's game day. Because why do you go there? For the game. So it needs to be like the baseball field should be lined. It should be cut like it's, like it's game day. You need to make it a game day experience, in my opinion, because that's why you go to the stadium. And like that, painting and preparing the field wouldn't be that hard. You're doing that on a daily basis anyways.
Right.
Second thing, make some kind of football game or baseball game or whatever. I don't know how you do it. I honestly don't. This is like, again, an idea. I'm just the idea guy. I'm not the do it guy. You all got to figure it out. Yeah. Make some kind of like, how you have different modes, Top Golf. Well, you just have one mode in this Top Golf, and it's like target pretty much. Like whoever scores the most points wins. Pretty basic, but you could also throw a little football flair in it. You could add a little flavor to that. The next one, I don't know how you do this effectively. Again, idea guy. Not my only really good idea is paint the field. My last one, find a way to make it like a game day experience. Like, yeah, I don't want the speakers quite as loud as game day because I want to be able to talk, but like I should walk in there, there should be music like playing actively the whole time. Like, and I think they did. You have stuff on the Jumbotron. Like, surely they had the
rights. Was there anything on the Jumbotron?
They had like cycling like announcements pretty much. Yeah, so and it's like
they couldn't do highlights or
or like today the PGA Championship was on. You couldn't have shown that. I don't know what the rules look like to do that, but I mean, you couldn't get CBS on the big, like, I don't know, like thing like I feel like you can just up the experience where like you're using everything around you. Like, I don't think the video boards were running that, what I'm talking about, like on the, like, I don't think those are running. You could have been running like high scores on it and stuff like that. Like, not just ads. That's another thing too, is like, a lot of the announcements on the Jumbotron were just ads. And it's like, I feel like you can run the ads and still keep it like a game day experience. So I think that's really what it lacked, is like that game day feel where it's like, why do you go to Neyland? Not a lot of people just go to Neyland just to sit down. Some people. Yeah.
It was cool to do it. You did it, but you'll probably not do it again unless it's a better experience.
Yeah. Unless they add to it. Like, I probably wouldn't pay the $80 to go back. And too, I don't know, surely with Neyland being as special as it is, they'll keep doing it, but the Topgolf's coming to Knoxville soon. So, you can go pay half the price at a Topgolf facility, which will be a little bit nicer than, I mean, they did a phenomenal job setting it up. Like, in my opinion, the best they could, for a temporary hitting bay. But I feel like, you're probably just, if you don't have that game day experience, you're just going to go to the one in Knoxville for cheaper. So,
right.
I don't know. A great experience. I thought it was really cool. Obviously it's too late to do it now, but if they ever come back, we joked about how we weren't going to pay that, and I probably wouldn't have gone if Neva hadn't bought these for Sam, or I guess we bought them for Sam. But yeah, it was cool. I'd do it again if the game day experience gets a little bit better. Topgolf's fun. Everyone knows Topgolf's fun. Make other parts of it fun too.
There you go. There you have it.
They're also going to be in Sanford Stadium in Athens in June. They're going to be in Tampa at Raymond James. They're going to be in is TCF Bank. Oh, that's Minneapolis. So it's like Minneapolis. You're going to get in there and like the turf's going to be there.
Yeah.
So like you feel like you're really in there. You feel like you're really in there where the Vikings play at that point. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe and I might have been the only one that thought I really was hoping it would feel like a game day kind of thing. Maybe I was the only
more
one.
of a Tennessee instead of, hey, we're just using Neyland Stadium for this.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yep. That's what I want.
Interesting.
I mean, because, everything was orange and white, outside of like the actual Topgolf labeled stuff. Everything was done in orange, which it should be. It's Tennessee fans.
Yeah, they couldn't get like some gilded Topgolf, like orange and white shirts or something like that too.
That'd be nice. I'm sure they had plenty of product there to sell if you wanted it. You might have been able to find one. That's the other thing. Tennessee's not going to miss a chance to make $1. They were running ads for season tickets. Buy your season tickets. You can buy those today.
Already got mine from last year.
We were talking about that today. We got to get ours.
Oh, like I haven't got my physical tickets, no.
But you paid for them.
Right. Yeah.
So we have not reserved them yet.
Gotcha.
We need to do that. Well, maybe my brother did. I don't know.
I did look at the relocation, and it's insane. So we sit in the third row in like the top bowl, CZ11. So if you find yourself stumbling that way, you can holler at me. But I was looking like a row in front of us. So yeah, it is a chair back, but we buy like the cushion seats with the little place on the back.
Right. Hot take. I know you're going to say they're more comfortable than the bleachers, and I 100%. I don't know if I agree. Those aren't comfortable to me.
Really?
You're really still like you're in bleachers, so you're still like this, and then you kind of got to sit. You have to sit like real straight up.
See, I have really bad posture, so like the bleachers kill my back.
Yeah,
like, that's old man in me, but like it really does. For 3 hours, like it hurts. So I have to have at least some kind of support. So
I agree. It's definitely better than the bleachers, but it's like I still, they're not comfortable to me.
Yeah, I feel you. But like they're a chair, so like
they are. You do have a back.
So I'm talking about the ones in front of us.
Oh, the actual chair backs. Okay.
They are $1,000 more per seat.
Hey, you got to get the
one row in front, like literally inches. Oh, like when it comes to like what you see, like inches away. And $1,000 more. It's insane. I was
those chairs aren't cheap.
Those
chair backs aren't cheap, especially when you get 15,000 of them.
Right.
They aren't cheap. I hate, dude, and I know we talked about this last year because they added those ad boards in behind the end zone. I hate them. I hope they get rid of them. I know they won't, because they'll make as much money as they can.
Right.
I just think they look so. I don't like them. Not a fan.
Too new.
I don't know. It just looks like.
You want
it
to
looks
look
almost
like a football
tacky.
Stadium.
It looks like what football stadiums unfortunately look like nowadays. But it's just like there's something to Neyland not having ad boards all over it.
We got ad boards, but we still got like. I like the troughs, but we still got troughs. So
hey, we're not. You all have troughs up in your section, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I like everyone's like, we need to upgrade the south end zone. Hell no, it's the Vestal of Neyland, and it should stay like that.
I will say this: it could use a pressure washing every now and then. Like I wouldn't be mad if they did that.
The trough?
No, not the trough. The like parts at Neyland Stadium.
Yeah, no,
there should be algae just hanging off of stuff.
Is that common? I don't know if I've noticed that.
I don't know if it's algae, but it's like dirty. Like you walk. I'm trying to think of what it's 22, 23, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the student gate where you like kind of walk up and you go down to gate 21. Like all that right there is just like, can we not clean it up a little bit? I mean, maybe they do for the season, but I noticed it like during basketball season.
Like right outside gate 10?
Yeah, when we'd park over there, I'm like, dude, that looks great.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they paint every year and like pressure wash and take care of it. So it may have just been a winter thing. But I mean, also in a stadium like that, you're bound to like
can we not
some really dirty spots and
one day should like you could get a whole crew in there and just do it, knock it out in one day.
See, I think the facilities management people just do it like that's their summer work. Part of it is going in there and pressure washing.
Really? So I guess it was just a winter thing, but I was like, man, I mean, so gross.
The south end zone and like student section area feels gross. I don't know how gross it really is, but I kind of like it. I'm a gritty guy.
It's dark too. That makes
I love how dark it is. I love it, man. It just feels, and this is just the good memories popping out. I've had a lot of bad memories in those tunnels, but it feels like a Tennessee win to me.
Yeah.
Like my favorite thing was walking out of Neyland Stadium, walking through those tight, dark tunnels and chanting, "It's great to be a Tennessee Vol."
Just like
that's my favorite memories. Oh yeah, you're like kind of weaving in and out, and I was always young, so hanging on to my dad's hand and just kind of dragging me along. But
women like just drilling you in the face with their
yeah, for sure. So yeah, I don't think you should ever get rid of those dark hallways. Keep the troughs, keep the dark hallways, keep Knoxville scruffy, keep it dirty.
I like it. That's all I got.
That's all I've got too. It's been a long episode. Appreciate y'all hanging on. We'll be back on Wednesday, right? Yes. I think I'm getting ahead of myself. We may have to do something different for the regional, but we'll let you all know. Well, we will be back this Wednesday though. Hopefully, talking about a Tennessee win. They will have already. Are they 5:30? So we may be just getting out of that.
I thought it was 2:30. 2:30.
Yeah, they're the earlier game there. So Tennessee will have played by then, and we'll have a little update with that. Hopefully, talking about their Thursday game.
Also, talk
it's double elimination. It's double elimination. A lot.
Yeah, so we're good.
Yeah, we're good. Quarterbacks. We'll have a quarterback show. The whole show, quarterbacks. That's it. Nothing else. Can't wait.
Not true. We'll definitely talk baseball quarterbacks. Yeah, we should do that. We could probably
24 hours, quarterbacks only.
Just quarterback.
I'm an idea guy. I'm not a make it happen guy. You got to make it happen. I'll just give the ideas.
God, we're getting old, man. I don't know if I could stay up for 24 hours.
Oh, I think that's what would make it fun. We would be very, very tired and delusional.
Just like snoozed.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, guys. We appreciate you listening. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.